This is the LC Youth Drive Home Recap for Wednesday, November 20th. Tonight at LC Youth, we concluded the series, Tell Me Why. In this final week, we looked at Tell Me Why We Go to the Altar. And, you think about all the times, there's hardly a Sunday that goes by where we don't have some sort of altar response. In youth ministry, you go to events like camp or convention, and the altar is really a big deal. So why do we talk about it? Well, we took a look at Paul's instruction to the church in Rome in Romans chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. Listen to what he says. Therefore, I exhort you, brothers and sisters, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a sacrifice, alive, holy, and pleasing to God, which is your reasonable service. Do not be conformed to this present world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may test and approve what is the will of God, what is good and well-pleasing and perfect. And you look at that verse and you think about this, that Paul says, present your bodies as a sacrifice, alive. Well, if you look throughout the Bible, a sacrifice was dead and it was presented on an altar. And so we now are the sacrifice, that we present ourselves alive to God all of our lives. Presented, this assumes the fact that it's presented on an altar, because that's where sacrifices go. So why do we make a point of coming in my time, we had these benches that were the altar. Why do we come to the front at the stage, at the steps or whatever, and bow and kneel before the Lord? Because we put ourselves in a posture of realizing we need to surrender to Jesus. And that was the big idea, that we focus on the altar to help us surrender to Jesus. And J.B. Phillips paraphrase, when instead of writing, do not be conformed to this present world, he talked about the fact that the world is trying to squeeze us into its mold. And what we have to do is we have to fight that tendency to be squeezed into the mold of the world. And we do that by constantly surrendering ourselves to Jesus. And as we surrender to Him, we are molded and shaped more and more into the image of God. And Paul wrote to the church in Rome that as we do that, we are able to discern and know the will of God, His good and well-pleasing and perfect will in our lives. So why do we focus on the altar? Because it's our reminder that we need to surrender to Jesus. I pray that this has helped you this week. We love you guys, and we'll see you soon. Have a great week.